All right, so last night we told you guys, well, more importantly, we told Carolina Stancic and we told the people from US JAG who are advocating for people like her that we would stay on the story and that we're going to find allies. The 24-year-old Army National Guard specialist, Stancic, says that she's had 3 heart attacks and a stroke since she took the COVID vaccine. Oh, but how do we know it was related? Well, the military now agrees with her that it was related, and it was certainly while she was on active duty, okay? She wasn't mandated to get the vaccine, but she says her superiors urged her to get the shot. We don't have any proof that that's not true. But here's the problem, okay? If it's because of the vaccine and she was on active duty, then why won't the DOD, the Department of Defense, pay her medical expenses more than 70 grand for this 24-year-old? Her family doesn't have that money. I spoke to her last night. I spoke to her veteran advocate, and listened to her.
I pretty much was going through like another big flare where I was going to go back to the hospital, and then they had called me and said, you need a pacemaker like now. I lost all my privileges for driving and just like daily living.
She was active duty at the time. They had medical records. They could have made that line of duty determination way back in 2021. They chose not to. The U.S. Army chose not to make that determination. They chose to unlawfully release her from active duty on April 27th, 2022, strip her of all benefits, put her on the street, take away her medical coverage, and tell her to fend for herself.
What do you still need, and what do you want people to understand?
Well, we need accountability first and foremost. And I'm not the only one going through this, and I'm just the face of many other people suffering.
Okay, now there are 2 ways to go after this, right? One is to demand accountability, all right? That's always a really short road because nobody's going to get back to you. For instance, even though I think Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has a good story to tell on this one, he actually made a positive difference, no response. Virginia Governor, no response. Director of the Army National Guard, no response. One official declined our request, but he did send us a statement. He says, in part, the Virginia National Guard assisted her with making submissions to get her medical expenses reimbursed, which is great, but they didn't get reimbursed. They didn't get reimbursed, all right? The Defense Department acknowledged that Carolina was injured by the vaccine. That's huge for her. Without that, I think all would be lost, to be honest. And, of course, that she was in the line of duty when it happened. But they are not reimbursing. So what's the other road to do this? Find allies. And we have one. Congressman Carlos Gimenez, all right, Republican, Florida, serves on the House Armed Services Committee. So he's not just the guy who's saying, oh, I want to help, but he doesn't have portfolio. He has portfolio. He's also on the Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, it's good to have you back, as always.
It's my pleasure. How you doing, Chris?
And I want the audience to know he has not owned this situation. This was not put in front of him, and he passed over it. He's not part of the problem. So he is on tonight just to help address and be part of the solution. Very rare in this day and age. Thank you for doing it. You've heard about the Air National Guard and systemic issues there and the concerns. This is another branch of that same poison tree, according to advocates. What do you have to say in terms of what Congress should be looking at for people like Stancic, and specifically Stancic? They have admitted it was in the line of duty. They've admitted it's COVID vaccine related in her case, still haven't paid a dime. She also can't go see an OBGYN. They also haven't paid for her to get mental health treatment. And this is a real problem for her for months. What do you think should be done, and how can you help?
Look, I'm a firefighter, and I used to be the fire chief of the city of Miami, and anytime any firefighter got injured in the line of duty, we took care of that firefighter. Simple as that. And so now we're talking about the U.S. military. When a serviceman or woman gets injured in the line of duty, like this appears to be, and it's said to be because they said it was the vaccine, and it was on, while she was on duty, this is a line of duty injury, and it should be handled as much. I don't see the reason why this runaround. It's for me, pretty simple. It's open and shut case. She got injured taking the vaccine, which, by the way, servicemen and women are ordered to take the vaccine.
Some, yes.
And she was in the line of duty, right? She was in the line of duty. I don't get it. I don't get why she's getting the runaround.
Gimenez is not new to this, by the way, for you at home. He's one of the people who got the the mandate removed, okay? And he also has worked for former service members on their behalf who got discharged over the mandate thing. But this is a separate issue, but I know that you've cared about this in the past. So I just wanted to get your attention, and I appreciate you for coming out to do this. I'll put you in touch with the advocate. He's got a whole list of people who have been denied services, and he believes it's systemic and he can prove it, that there is a pattern of denying these claims for people who deserve to be protected because they're protecting us. Can I bank on you to give him a fair hearing?
Absolutely, and it sounds really political to me that somehow because, you know, it got to be politicized, the vaccine, yes, no, ordering, yes, no, that a lot of us thought, hey, you shouldn't really be mandating this vaccine. It's unknown. It's a new vaccine. We don't know what the repercussions of that are going to be. It really doesn't affect young, healthy people all that much. It really targets the old with comorbidities, and that somehow, hey, now we're seeing problems, and maybe that the DOD doesn't want to say, hey, no, this is not a problem because of the vaccine, because they ordered them to take the vaccine. And yeah, we're going to get on top of it.
I have a good angle for you.
Yeah, they should be reimbursed, and they need to look. They need to take care of their own people. They do on the battlefield. They should do it right now at home.
I got a good angle for you too, because they're going to come at you with their underwriters and what the policies are and how the claims process goes. And you know, that's a lot of that is noise, but it's part of the bureaucracy. There are FOIA requests for line of duty determinations because there are a lot of people who fall into this bucket. And the National Guard Bureau has refused to answer for over 3 years. That's something they can correct on the quick. These are FOIA requests. They are not supposed to deny the American people this way. That's a good place to start. I'm happy to help any way we can to motivate the understanding.
Fair enough, you know, and we're going to look into it, and then I'll bring this to the attention of the chairman and also Veterans Affairs. They're going to be very interested in this. We need to take care of our servicemen and women. They're protecting us. They go out and put their lives on the line for us. It's only fair and only right that when they get injured on duty, that the American people, the United States of America, takes care of our servicemen and women. That's just right. I mean, that's what we did in the fire department. I don't see why it's any different, you know, in the U.S. military.
Much deeper pockets on the federal level, that's for sure. Congressman Jimenez, thank you for giving a fair hearing to this, to coming on the show tonight to hear about it. I appreciate you. Uncommon.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, to be continued. Up next, final thought. Not about Trump, not about Biden, about you and doing things for the American people. That's a good step. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.